Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to our Lumio live stream. It's been a while. I hope everyone had awesome holidays and are refreshed and ready to go for the new year. My name is Asha, and I am joined with some lovely Lumio lovers, Casey and Lois.
I'm so excited to be here. It feels like it's been forever since we've been together to do one of these.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And I feel like with all the cold weather coming, that this is a great time to warm up engagement in the classroom. And what better way to do that than with Lumio, right?
indeed.
Absolutely. I love how you worked that out. Engagement and the weather. I think we're all having different weather events no matter where you are. We're all talking about the weather in all of our meetings. So we're excited today to talk about one of my favorite features of Lumio. I don't know about you, Lois, but I love our assessment tool, Response.
Yeah, response is so versatile. And, I think I always learn something new about how I can use the response tool. And that's kind of fun too.
Yeah, in fact, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Response is an assessment tool. So, it's great for formative assessment. It's great for summative assessment. So, if you're doing a summative assessment, it will actually grade your work, your students' work, and you can get a spreadsheet with all of their data, which is fantastic. I love that part of it. Of course, as a formative assessment to see where students are and use that to drive instruction. I also love that we can use it as check-ins, poll opinions type of questions. And one of my favorite features is the short answer question. So the short answer question actually allows us it automatically creates a word cloud with the different responses that students put into place when they answer the question that you put on your short answer. So I love that component of it. It's a very easy, not a lot of work or prep on the teacher's part. You can write just one quick question. Your response doesn't have to have a lot of different questions involved. You could just do a one question response activity, which is really great. And it's really, really simple to put together. So basically, all we're going to do is start with a new Lumio activity. So we click on that blue plus button. We navigate to our response icon. And then you get a variety of different question types for response. So you can have multiple choice, true, false, multiple answer, poll opinion, and then that short answer question. And the short answer one is the one that's going to help build the word clouds for us. And so we're going to show how this works in real time today. So I don't know about you, Lois, but for me at the start of the new year, I'm not really someone who does resolutions, but I do love to choose kind of one word that I want to use as my North Star for the year. So I feel like that one word, if there are things that I want to get better at, whether it's health or whether it's being more active or whether I want to do more reading, whatever it might be, I can choose sort of one word that is going to help me stay focused on those goals. Have you ever done something like that?
Yeah, so when I read Atomic Habits by James Clear, that's really what he says is like, don't focus on all the things at all the time, right? It's really best to focus on one thing. And so my word for last year was curious. And it also helps me to remember my passwords. Don't tell anyone. I kind of incorporate that in all my passwords. But I do have a new word for this year too. What's yours?
My word this year, and it's always hard to choose one and to narrow it down, but this year I'm choosing the word intention. I just want to be really intentional about some of the decisions that I make, some of the things that I do. So, be more intentional of when I use social media, for example, or how long, more intentional about focusing on things like my health. So I'm just keeping that word intention in my mind every day. How about you? What word did you choose?
So my word this year is interested.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, so I actually heard someone else use that word for their word of the year in my book club, and they talked about how they really work a lot at being a more interesting person in the room, and that now their intention is to be more interested, make people feel like what they say is of value. So I'm going to also work on that too.
I love that. I have not heard that one. So that's it. That's an exciting one for me to tuck away for another year. So this is what response looks like from the teacher side of things. If you haven't and you'd like to, you're welcome to join us live. You'll see scrolling across the bottom my class ID. So you can just go in as a join as a guest. You can go to hellosmart.com, enter my class ID 11311, and that will give you the student perspective of this activity. So on the teacher side, I need to start this activity for my students. So I'm going to hit start for class. And on the student side, what they're going to see is the opportunity, a little box that they can type in. And they'll see the question and the image that you also see on my screen. So I could talk to my students about, today we're thinking about a word that we want to sort of live by. And you'll notice that we already have people starting to put words in place. And what's neat on the teacher side of things is we see these words happen in real time, and we see shifts and changes happen in real time as well. And if we have people that answer the same word, then we'll notice that that word is larger, just like we would in a typical word cloud. So in this case, we can kind of see that it looks like we all have different words. I also can look at a list view. So I can see that each word has been chosen once. But if we did have someone that added a word that was already up here, we would see that particular word grow. And I love too that we can see this happening in real time. So we can really see the power of change, the power of what students are thinking and those connections that they make. There's so many different ways we could use this tool for just vocabulary practice as well. It doesn't or do a quick check-in. How are you feeling about your learning this today in one word? So you can use that one word idea or a phrase or something along those lines pretty easily. And it's always very visual for you and for the students. Have you used the word cloud much, Lois?
So I actually haven't used the word cloud very much, but I was working with an English teacher, and her idea was to use it to kind of get the author's point of view. Like, what was the author's point of view in this? Or, like, do you agree with the actions of the character in this paragraph? So I mean, I think the ways that you can use it are just limitless, right?
Yes, one of the things I love to do with my students is for them to do one-word summaries or even like three-word summaries. I think putting some constraints on them really makes them deep in their thinking. And so this is a great way to have students do that because they are limited by the character, the amount of characters that they can have. So it really allows you to have that constraint in place and for students to really have to think about everything, synthesize their information and condense it into something, in a smaller package, which I love. You
Be
can
super intentional about what they're saying, right?
exactly like it. So this is an example that we did earlier, and you'll notice that patience is a little bit bigger. And that's, again, to show you that we had more than one person that chose patience versus all of the other words were used once. So that kind of shows you what that word cloud and how it would vary based on if more than one student was adding a particular word or not. So I love to follow what activities like this with students having an opportunity to sort of reflect and think about things. And so one of the things that I love to take advantage of is our ready-made resources. So we have graphic organizers built into Lumio that are already done that you can quickly add. But what I love is that I can customize them. So this is a Frere model, which we use very often when we're teaching vocabulary development, but I did shift things a little bit because I wanted them to think about their word a little bit differently. So of course, I want a definition of their word. I wanted them to find a visual of their word. I wanted them to think about what are 3 things you're going to do to make sure that you're living by this word. And then I was listening to a great podcast, and this is actually something we do within Smart as well. But I loved in the podcast thinking about using that stop, start, continue for thinking about your own focus for the year. So what are some things that you want to stop doing this year? What are a couple of things you want to start doing? And what are some things that you were doing already that you want to continue to do? And what's great is with any of our graphic organizers, we can quickly turn them into an individual handout so that each student has their own copy. And I love too that a teacher has their own version. So I can open my version and, of course, model. So if my word is intention, I can start by modeling what I want them to do on their individual pages and put that into place and talk about my different expectations. What does it mean to stop something and start something and continue something? How do you decide what those things are? So we can really talk about those things. And then, of course, I love now with the visual of my word how easy it is to create that visual. I can create the visual using the shapes and lines that are here, but we also have the ability to add images to help with our visuals too. And it's so easy for students for you to really empower students to be able to put all the pieces together. Lois, anything that you want to top off on that?
So when I was looking at this and saw the stop, start, continue, like that really spoke to my soul, which you usually do, Casey. So that's not surprising. But I really like the addition of that. I think vocabulary is amazing. I love learning new words and putting them into practice. So the FAIR model is really great for doing that. I think that this is a great activity that you can use at any grade level, right?
Absolutely. And I'm looking at yours right now. Multitasking is definitely something that should be on my stop menu as well. So I'm right there with you. So we're getting close to our time today, but I wanted to just go over a couple of other things that I think you might find valuable. And I was going to really quickly close out by showing how easy it is to really bring this response piece together. So again, you saw that I was able to click on different students' names like Lois's, and I can give feedback and respond to her. You'll also notice that Michelle has a little check mark next to her name indicating that she thinks she's done. Oh, I love what she's working on here. So we can see that work. And what's great as a teacher is I can give that instant feedback too. So if I wanted to help Michelle deepen her thinking about something, I could do that too. So the last couple of things I wanted to just highlight for you is one, I wanted to share this month's Lumio challenge. This month, we're looking for you to share with our other community members what you love most about Lumio. So we just want you to spill the tea. How are you lighting up learning with Lumio? Because I know I learned so much from other educators. I got to have lunch with one of my favorite educators today. She met up with me for lunch and we had such a great conversation about some things. And she's really made me think about ways that I might shift using Lumio in a couple of different strategic ways. So I'm excited to put those into action. So hopefully you'll spill the tea on some of your favorite things about Lumio or how you're using it to light up learning with either adults that you work with or students. And if you post a hashtag Lumio challenge, we are always looking to draw some winners who are participating. And then if you love the one word for the year, I suggest this free resource from the Lumio library. It is a great activity that's really designed to walk your students through the steps of choosing their own word. So it's a little bit more in depth than what we did here today. So depending on your timing with your students and what you have, you may want to do something that takes students a little bit more through the steps of choosing a word, or you could just jump in with response and a graphic organizer like we did.
I love that. And everybody can find those resources in their own Lumio library. It's available to everyone, right?
Absolutely. So this one, I searched one word to find it. I knew which one I was looking for. This is an activity that I have loved that another educator built for us, and I just think it's so great for students. But we have it linked here, and then of course everything's going to be linked on our Lumio Live page, so you can always find these resources after our time together.
Perfect.
So I hope everyone will try using the word cloud portion of response. It's just this short answer question will allow you to have that word cloud built.
For sure. And I know normally we would be live next Thursday, but we have kind of a special live coming up, right, Asha?
Yeah, we're going to be live at BET in a couple of weeks here. So this is going to be super exciting. And I can't wait to see all the people that's there. It's going to be great.
Yes, we're really excited. It's going to be the Thursday of Bet, and so I think it's going to be great to be able to do the event live from the UK.
Yeah, so if you're
Indeed.
in the UK on Thursday, January the 25th, join us live there.
Well, thanks, ladies, again for a great Lumio live stream. And just want to say, see you again, and we'll be in the UK, I bet. Super exciting.